Episode 82. Here we are.
So, you know the bone broth kettle and fire? Mine Pup always talks about them.
Yeah.
So I don't remember the guy's name of who the founder was, but he basically started
Kettle.
selling the product. It is Kevin?
Kettle and Fire is his name.
No, well, I actually think his name is Kevin, the guy, the founder of it. So I thought you said it's Kevin. I thought you just knew that off the
Kevin
top of your head.
Kevin Kettle.
Kevin Kettle. He sold over 2,000, was it? Yeah, sold over $2,000 worth of product before the product was even made. So he created a landing page and then spent $500 in advertising just to see what the product would sell before he put all the money into actually creating the product. And he had $2,000 worth of orders, and then he created the product.
A lot of GoFundMe start that way. I mean, a lot of products start that way. They start a GoFundMe to
But
get
he,
money to make the product.
But he created a website, had the products on there.
Wow.
That seems
Risky.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a cool story, and then he eventually just went full in on it, but
Well, risky for the consumer too. You're
Yeah.
like saying you're gonna purchase it, or you're spending money on something that's not even there.
but they didn't know that it wasn't created.
I know, but that's still
Sketchy.
it's sketchy.
Which is weird that it's such a good, highly talked about product in the space of it's a clean bone broth. Because that would be my only weirdness with it, is I feel like products that are typically really good and higher quality take a longer time to test out. That's like, you have an order, people are expecting it in 2 weeks. You have to, 2 weeks or less, how many business days
Yeah.
that you have to find the perfect formula bone broth within a shipping time.
How did he do the nutritional label then? And the ingredients.
I don't know if he had a general gist of what he wanted to put in there, but he just didn't have, he wanted to see if people would even buy it first and then did all that. But then Mark Cuban got on board and helped with the manufacturing and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what did that look like? The packaging and everything too.
Yeah, I don't know if it's what it looks like now.
You just start plastic baggies of
Yeah.
bone broth getting
Like you
sent
can buy
to you.
milk at Quick Trip.
Yeah.
And it's the bone broth. He sold it for $30, I think, per bone broth. Is that right?
Jeez.
And they made $2.8 million in sales the first year.
How much do you get for $30?
I don't know. They sell it at the
think a
grocery store, and I
lot.
do not think it's that much.
No, you don't get that much.
But I don't think it's that expensive at the grocery store.
No, I didn't think so either.
Kettle and Fire. You can get a 4-pack for $37.96, and it is 32 ounces.
A package?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So 37, basically 38, probably 45 with shipping, but
Well, what's a gallon?
$40 divided by 4.
Yes.
It's around $10.
$10 a carton.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too
Still seems
pricey for
like a
me.
lot, but
Well, how many servings is in one of them? 4?
there is 3.5.
So you're going through 2 cartons a week if you have a serving every day.
How many people have a serving every day, though?
I would if I could.
Seems pricey. Your
Yeah, I would if I
bone
could.
broth bill a month is,
Yeah.
I guess, $60. $70 a month on bone broth.
Yeah, I don't think you could make that a daily supplement. I don't know. There's people that do. I mean, these people will spend the money on this, but I don't know. That is just a lot, I think.
Well, it's
But-
like the AG1 thing we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
It's I think that's 30 servings, but you're spending $80 a month on.
Yeah, but look at
It's like
people go out to eat and spend $100, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I wonder how many people think of that as their main supplement, so they don't have a lot of other different things.
Oh,
Is
AG1.
$80 their one supplement a month?
Well, I think that's what gets me about the bone broth thing is you don't need it's not that big of a lever in your health to be spending that much money on bone broth.
That was my question, was what's the benefits of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know, protein, gut health.
More collagen.
Yeah. It's very, I don't know, it's a very fringe kind of adding to your health type thing. I don't think
Maybe
it's
if
like
you're
a
trying to
main-
overcome something, it may be a good short term.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like that it's a drink. Like I like that it's an edible type of thing. Like when you make it with the whole chickens, I'll put it and put eggs in it. So it's like an egg drop soup.
Mm.
Like that I could do pretty close to every day. But
I've done it like a broth, like warm
Like
it up
just
and
drinking
just
it?
drink it.
Yeah. I bet that's how most people.
Yeah.
I think most people
Use a
cook
couple-
with it.
Oh, really?
Like you could put it in a crock pot.
God, it
With-
seems expensive.
Yeah. But I bet you chicken noodle soup, people make that with it.
Then you would definitely go through it
Oh,
super quick.
yeah.
If you're doing like meals with it.
And then if you're not using it, does it go bad quickly? Because there's no preservatives in it.
Yeah. I'm sure there's like salt. They probably add salt into it to have it last a little bit longer. And it's on the it's not refrigerated. It's
But I
just
think
on the
once you
shelf.
open it, you have to refrigerate it.
Yeah, probably. But they can sit on that shelf for probably, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Good
pretty
amount
much just
of
a lot of vitamins and minerals that you're not going to be getting as much of with eating the actual protein of
Well, it's
the
coming-
animals.
yeah,
That
it's
it's coming
coming
from
from
the
the
bone.
bone.
That's really the only way that you'd be able to get that intensity of those vitamins and minerals. And it's also, which I think that's kind of weird, but sometimes also vegans will drink it then too. So you're getting a huge dose of things that you wouldn't be able to get normally because you're not eating the meat.
See,
It is just like a vitamin power pack,
That to
Yeah.
me makes zero sense. You're vegan,
but then you'll
yet
take the
you're-
bones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't add
As
up.
long as you
Leave the meat,
kill
but I'll
it,
take the carcass.
You kill it and eat it. I just want the bones.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems not vegan.
Right.
So we've been talking about AI a lot lately. I feel like just in the general topic of conversation, and they just did I don't know what the actual gathering is, but it's like all these AI techie nerds go to this
Davos.
one
Or
conference
it's in Davos.
and they show like these are my latest inventions type of thing, and these are the 3 fitness ones that were kind of crazy to me. One of them is of course a health mirror, but it's okay, so it's called Omnia, OMNIA. This, why I thought this was interesting, is this kind of also goes on to what we were talking about in the last episode of the kind of going for more of a proactive health approach. Is this mirror is kind of like the Aura Ring or the Whoop Band, but almost next level, where it tells you a lot of your biomarkers. The mirror can. Do I
guess.
know the signs of how it does it? No. So it can tell, which I also don't understand. Like it can tell your overnight heart rate. It can track your sleep and all that. It's like how? I don't understand that.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
don't
watching
get
you
that
sleep.
either.
Daily heart rate, or irregular rhythm notifications, night heart rate, resting HR, vascular age, pulse wave velocity, blood pressure, tracks calories burned, steps, VO2 max estimation and elevation, workout recovery, nutrition. It tracks your pH balance, your ketone trends, and your vitamin analysis. It tracks your body fat ratio, your visceral fat versus your weight trends. It tracks that like over time. Sleep apnea detection, interruptions, and your stages of sleep.
It's got to be like a ring or a watch you wear with it. It's got to have an accessory
Oh, maybe.
or a scale that you step on every day. All that wouldn't judge your sleep.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I didn't think about that.
Well, you could get like an app on your phone to track your sleep, and it just is like your phone's sitting next to you as you sleep. I think it's just bad data that it's getting, because the phone will pick up on your movement or how many times you check it and this and that. It's just going off of whatever's going on in the room.
So it's listening to you all night. Well,
Probably.
it's already doing that.
Yeah. But it's like, I think the phone thing versus like an Aura ring where you're actually wearing it, you're just talking about one piece of data versus a lesser piece of data. That would be my guess with this mirror thing, is like, it gives you data, but it's probably not that great. Like, it said it can track your ketones. It probably is not as accurate as if you were to do the ketone strip.
And that's
Like
not
a
even
peanut.
accurate.
Right. So it's like, there's just levels of good data to bad data that I bet this is just like not that great of data
Yeah.
going on. Unless you're wearing something, then
It
then
looks
be that.
so futuristic when you. Here, let me show you.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, unless it's like a giant MRI machine,
like you step on it and it basically, my guess is it sends some sort of
electromagnetic wave through
up
you
your
or
body.
something.
so it's like an in-body thing at the gym.
It looks so future. Look at this.
How much is one of those? $450,000.
Yeah, that's the same as an in-body does.
Which then even those are not
Accurate.
super great either.
You know, they like you
They make
said
it look
though,
so futuristic.
it is good for a baseline and to keep checking your progress.
Yeah.
If you're,
They should be accurate to themselves of,
Right.
I don't even know if they're out for. No, they're not ready for sale yet. Not available for purchase in the U.S. But they have other products, like they have watches, they have scales. Those range from 300 to 6.
Yeah.
So I think it still just shows where we're heading. Like the trends of mixing in AI with fitness is becoming more and more
I think
talked about. I
But I
guess
think-
I think even going back to what we talked about last episode of the tonal and the in-home fitness equipment. It's like we're trying to get more and more simplified into, you look in front of a mirror and they give you the workouts or the tonals and everything is connected. Granted, I think that's maybe just a modern version of what like the Bowflex was, where it's just like an all-encompassing workout machine. But we're trying to add in our
technology.
Yeah.
Well, I've been getting ads on Instagram for let AI rate your workouts.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I don't know, do you go to like ChatGPT and like, I want to write me a total body workout for 4 days a week?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, you
to
could do that on
gain muscle or to
ChatGPT. Yeah.
lose fat, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could do that.
you probably put in it's probably the same thing. You probably put in what you want to do. Your goals are, I want to lose weight or I want to gain weight.
Yeah. This type of stuff, though, this like AI being put into it, you're hitting such a niche group of people.
Yeah.
Like, it's people that are going to spend the money on this stuff and can afford it and are that. Like, it's just, I don't think this is incorporating into the general health and fitness population. It's incorporating into the people who are already have a shit ton of money to just throw away on stuff like this.
Well, when Bowflexes were popular, those were like $3,000.
Yeah, and how many people were getting those probably?
I don't know.
Until they became a second market type thing where they're now used or they are able to make them a little bit more affordable. I mean, even like the Peloton or tonal things, like they start out expensive and become cheaper and then more people can get them. But I think that's way different than like this AI thing buying a $600 scale.
Right.
Like, who's going to go buy a $600 scale? Only people who have a shit ton of disposable income or people who are so suckered into this stuff that are spending more than they should.
That's what happened to Bowflex. They had infomercials on all the time on TV.
Well, and that's where it's like, I don't know if this is where we're going as much as it's just, this is new. It's new right now. I mean, the tonal thing, it's like, that's the Bowflex thing. We've just recreated the Bowflex thing, but it's newer and a little bit different.
Now you have a computer in it.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's kind of gone full circle with a couple upgrades to where that'll come in style and then go out of style. And we're just going to repeat the same process over and over again.
Yep. And this is only for people that work out at home. This isn't for your gym crowd.
Yeah. And that's with the AI stuff. Like, I don't know. It'll probably be still a little bit until that becomes cheap enough to where the general population is going to go buy like that thing that that person's stepping on, and it's scanning her entire body and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's basically an MRI machine.
Yeah.
In your home. Who's going to be able to buy that or afford that?
Right.
So I did the ChatGPT. I said, write a 3-day per week workout focused on building muscle and losing fat. Said the guidelines. Wait, I might want to make sure that I'm recording this. Okay. Rests are 30 to 60 seconds between each set for fat loss, 1 to 2 minutes for strength exercises. Weight, choose weight that challenges you but allows good form. Diet, ensure you're in a slight caloric deficit with high protein intake for fat loss and muscle maintenance. Then I'll just give like a general cue, and I screen record this so you can put this in there if you want. But day 1 is upper body strength and conditioning. So you have bench press, so 3 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Bench press, bent over row, shoulder press, lat pull down or pull ups. Barbell or dumbbell for all of those. Then conditioning, 3 rounds, 12 push-ups, 15 kettlebell swings, 30-second plank, and 1-minute jump rope. Just based off of the first day, I don't think it's that terrible.
No.
And I like that it's giving non-machines. They're very basic exercises.
Yeah.
They're not like trying to get super fancy with it. And even with the conditioning, having kettlebell swings in there, that's cool. Like all body weight stuff. It's not run on the treadmill for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Then second day is lower body and strength, squats, Romanian deadlifts, Bulgarian split squats, calf raises. And then core, hanging leg raises, Russian twists, and bicycle crunches. Optional cardio, 10 to 15 minutes incline walking or stair climbing. Day 3, full body and conditioning, deadlifts, dumbbell thruster. Okay, so hip thrust, I'm guessing. Dumbbell thrusters, squat or
a lot
shoulder
of
press.
women do those. They'll take.
So it's basically the same thing, though.
They just set the dumbbell on their lap, but I think a lot of them do it because it's not the bar.
Oh, no. Wait. Dumbbell thrusters. Squat. So it's in parentheses. I didn't see this. Sorry. Squat and shoulder press. So you basically.
Oh.
I've never heard them called that. I would say
I haven't either.
squat to press. But okay.
Yeah.
Pull-ups or assisted pull-ups. Tricep dips or close grip bench press. Then conditioning, 10 box jumps, 15 dumbbell snatches each arm, 200-meter sprint and 1 minute row, 20 mountain climbers. And additional tips: cardio. If fat loss is priority, consider adding 20 to 30 of low intensity cardio on rest days. Progression: gradually increase weights on reps each week to ensure continued progress. Recovery: prioritize sleep, hydration, and nutrition for muscle growth and fat loss. That's not bad.
There was no biceps in there.
Full body.
That's the only body part I think they're missing. Unless you just read it so fast I didn't.
Well, and what did you do? A strength routine?
Strength.
Building
No, I
strength?
did.
Gain
I
muscle,
just did.
lose fat.
Give me a 3-day per week workout focusing on what everybody says, building muscle and losing fat.
Oh. Yeah, I mean.
That's really not that terrible.
No, I think this is what I get so confused with the AI thing. It's like,
Chaney's going to be out of a job.
no, it's like, we already know all this. Like, they're not coming up with new information.
No, I know.
It's
but
just
the
a
fact
database of
yeah.
information that we already know.
You know it.
Sure, but like, listen to any podcast. This is the stuff that they're going to tell you to do. Because you could prompt it to, okay, same prompts, but write a different one. And it just spit out a different one.
Sure, yeah.
You know,
I'm just
it's like-
surprised that it spit out that and not some of the other random crap that you hear people talk about when it comes to programming.
Oh,
Like,
sure.
this actually kind of makes sense. To where
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of stuff out there that it's drawing from that does not make sense.
Yeah.
Like, you go to a personal trainer, maybe even in some gym,
They're not going to do that.
they're not going to do
Oh, a
this.
lot of
So
a
it's
lot
like,
of people are not
The
going to do
fact
that.
that
They're
it
gonna jack
came
your
up
heart
with
rate up.
these answers,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. Like
Yes.
this is better than a good chunk of the people that are educated on this are going to tell you.
Yeah. Now you play with that for long enough, it's probably going to start to get weird.
Do the same thing, but make it a lot easier for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, even that. It's like the leg day to me sounded a little intense for general
The average
population.
person. It's also, well, yeah, true.
What was it? Squats, Romanian deadlifts, and
Bulgarian split squats.
Yeah.
that's a rough day.
I'd be
Yeah.
curious if someone else did this, what would pop up? Because it's also under my account where I talk a lot about like write a TikTok thing for fitness and this. So like it also
Sure.
does have my kind of general where we talk about kettlebells and blah blah blah. That maybe it's doing that for me, but still, that's pretty good. I'm actually impressed by that.
I'm just not impressed by AI yet.
That Chat GPT is awesome.
Holy crap!
I think
I
it's
love it.
cooler like when I've used it for, create a title or
Yeah.
like a catchy title or a description or whatever. Like I like it for that sort of stuff because it's implementing some creativity or like what are keywords that people will be searching in YouTube. So then they're kind of putting that in there. But stuff like this, I'm like, okay.
But if I was someone that isn't educated on something, like if I didn't know this and I'm a newbie and I'm like, okay, well, I'm hearing that I should be lifting weights, but I don't want to scour the internet to find and like piece together everything. I was like, what you say, like, you know the information, but programming is so difficult that it's like, that took me 3 minutes.
To read it.
That it's like,
Yeah.
boom, there's my program.
But I think this is the problem with our society is we're just getting the answer without knowing how this stuff works.
But most people don't care how it works. Or if you go to a personal trainer, they're not questioning their personal trainer like, well, why are we doing this way?
I agree, but that's the problem with the society. That is
Sure.
mostly what's
Yeah.
happening, but that's why we're all fucked. It's because nobody wants to know how these things work. They just want the answer, and now they go do this, and they do it for 3 years, and now it doesn't work anymore, and they're like, well, why? Or the leg day is way too hard for them, and they can't adjust or don't know how to adjust because they didn't learn how to do this. They got it off of ChatGPT. Or it's like that amount of volume for somebody sounds pretty intense for a beginner.
Yeah.
Was that 3-4 exercises at 4 sets of 8 to 12, and then you're doing conditioning afterwards?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. That's a lot.
That person,
lot
if
for a new
they're new,
person.
they're going to last 1 week.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're going to be so. They may not even make it to day 3.
Yeah.
They're going to be so sore.
Because even the conditioning is 3 rounds.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're doing 3 rounds of 15 kettlebell swings. That's an exercise to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. But all in all, I think
It's like anything, this should be used as a tool, not the end all be all.
sure.
To where how our society works is this will be used as the end all be all. They're only going to do this type of stuff for everything, and then nobody's going to have any knowledge anymore or nuance as to what to do with these things, and you're screwed. Also, like, does the person doing this know how to do any of these movements correctly?
It did say use challenging weight but good form. But if you
So
don't know
they'd
what
still
good
have to
form
look.
is,
Exactly.
They'd still have to look up what that is, which you would have to do that anyways. I do think this gives, using ChatGPT, I do think it can give a false sense of reality with people because, like, when I put in an email in there and say, like, can you clean this up? Like, grammatically, or just make it sound better. It sounds way better than what I'm coming up with. Like, I sound so smart.
yeah, I know.
It's
I
like,
do the same
people
thing.
think I just talk like this,
I'll like do
and
it,
they talk to me in person. They're like,
Yeah, you're
What?
an idiot.
make
happened.
this sound more professional.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
yeah, it's like I would never have come up with that. But yeah, like you said, a tool.
Well,
can be helpful.
we're tantalized by it. It's new, it's fast, it doesn't take a while to get your results. Like that's what we want, is things to come to us quickly. You type it in and it's right there immediately for you. You don't even second guess or question what it's saying because yeah, you're like now your email voice is not the same as you actually going out and communicating in the world.
Yeah.
People could be upset by that when they
this
meet
is
you
the
or talk to
same
you.
thing of Google. You can just type in a question and get the answer. You may get 100 different options for answers, but you didn't have to go buy a book or go to the library to look up anything in a book.
Yeah.
Now it's all on a computer.
Or even cipher through what one is the best. Like usually it's just the top result or one that people click on the most gets pushed up to the top. That you're also with this same
Or
thing.
what
You have a
company pays
risk
the
of
most.
Yeah.
what? Well, true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's another step. This is Google next generation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good comparison of like when the internet comes out or Google comes out and you can ask a question or search something and it gives you results to it. This is the same thing, but just faster.
Yeah.
And I think we're tantalized or confused and thinking that it's correct all the time.
Right.
Just like how it probably was in the beginning of Google. You search something, you're like, wow, it's right there in front of me. There it is. That's the answer. And it's like, well, you didn't sift through all of the all of the other articles talking about this that you looked up or just other sources of information to fact check the first one you saw, basically.
Yeah, because what was the big argument recently about, I don't know if it was Google, but they're talking about all this woke stuff and saying, show me pictures of Auschwitz, the concentration camp. And there was like all these, like, there's black people in there in Nazi prison, Nazi uniforms. And,
Yeah. Well, and you do the same thing with like historical figures, and I think some of that stuff pops up too, where it changes the race of the person of the historical figure, or it's giving like weird, it's just putting them in a place that they weren't at and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because it still has to be created by somebody and prompted by somebody.
And what their biases are.
Yeah. Because you could even put in there like, why is fitness bad for you? And it will give you
It's racist.
the reason. Yeah. It'll give you reasons why it's bad for you. And it's like if somebody it's the same thing with Google. Somebody wants a specific answer, you search for it, you find it, like you're going to find it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you with food. It's like I want to find why what is the benefits of this. I'm just going to search what are the benefits of apples.
Right.
Not give me the full breakdown of an apple.
Yeah.
Because you can find what are the negatives of apple, and it's going to pop up probably on the same site, just a different article.
Yep.
So continue with the AI. Another product that rolled out at this convention is a portable filtration system. It's not a filtration system, but it's a portable device that you can connect to your tub, and it creates any tub into a cold plunge. So it's just like
it's like a reverse microwave, I bet.
Kind of.
Oh, yeah. It probably just hangs over the side.
Yeah.
And just cools the water. Yeah, it's like an air conditioner for.
Yeah, it's like a space heater, but
Why not just turn the cold water on?
well,
If you don't
It
live
wouldn't
in
get
Florida.
cold enough.
it doesn't get cold enough. Yeah. But so
Wait a minute. If I went home right now and turned the cold water on, it'd be pretty freaking cold.
but then you have to submerge yourself in it. I don't know if it would be cold. I don't know. Maybe it would.
It would be cold.
Maybe it would.
But then you don't have that in the summer. Like you're banking off winter pipe temperatures.
True.
And ours would never
like,
get that cold.
Cold plunging, I mean, we were just talking about this morning of like, there's such a range. You could go from 50 degrees all the way down to like 33 just before freezing. That's like, how cold do you want it?
80.
Yeah.
But so this product, it's not rolled out yet. You have to reserve your space to even order one once it is coming out. Oh wait, never mind. It is available in stock now. Okay. So they're promoting it as the ability that you could use it anywhere in your house. You wouldn't need a big, bulky, separate tub. So for people that live in an apartment or something like that, you could still have the ability to have cold plunge accessibility without having to get a whole separate system, and promoting it for people that like sports teams that travel. Like
Yeah.
you can go on the road with it and you don't have to travel with a bunch of cold plunges.
Yeah.
At the small cost of $3,000.
Yeah.
Or you just make a lot of ice cubes.
It looks really cool. So, okay, so it would rapidly cool the water from 70 degrees to 45 in less than What?
2
In less
minutes?
than 2 hours.
Oh, what? Yeah, there you go.
But also,
Lots of planning involved in this one.
yeah, I suppose. I wonder how cold, like if you did it as cold as you can, how cold is it?
Oh, sure. Because what did
It's
it
like
say?
that's also
Starting
from
at
70 degrees.
yeah.
Like that's
That's
pretty
like your cold water here.
that's pretty warm.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last AI product that they rolled out was a yoga mat that will track where your like natural imbalances are. It will be able to test your like movement patterns. So it can tell like you're like heavy stepping on your right or everything is right dominant. That's able to kind of track your movement patterns.
That's
So
for
it's a
somebody really into yoga.
It's basically like and I'm guessing there's some sort of app that you can track it or see it. It's basically a visual of your negative alignment of your moving patterns.
It's a big we.
I think the best one out of all those is the cold plunge one.
Yeah, I think so too.
But here's the other thing: if you can afford $3,000 for you're gonna have room to put a cold plunge.
I don't think so. No, not necessarily. No, I wouldn't think necessarily. I mean, afford to just pay for it is also two different things. It's like if I really, really wanted it, I'd maybe get it. But I can't put a whole separate tub in here. But I was
Yeah.
like, cold plunging is my thing.
Yeah, what if
And
you're
that's
a
what I think is
condo
health.
owner?
Yeah, to where you
You're not
can't.
going to have space to put a cold plunge.
Well, get an extra bedroom or a bathroom that you don't use.
You're stretching a
I
little
know,
on that
I
one.
am.
A carpeted separate bedroom they're going to put a tub in. And another thing with
Just
that
put it
is
in the corner of the living room, you know?
They have inflatable ones.
Watch TV.
Yeah, but then you got to fill it. The
Yeah.
water that like this, you can just like run your regular bath water, or well, yeah, true. I guess it's still the same amount of water then. But it also just plugs
But
into
then
a
you got to
regular outlet.
transport the water.
Well, true. Yeah.
Do most permanent cold plunges have like a filter? So it's like
Yeah.
a swimming pool filter.
Yeah.
So you're not changing the water out.
No, and it keeps it at that same temperature, so it's not needing to fluctuate a lot and use more energy. That was all my AI stuff.
Yeah, the cold plunge one I think is the most general population use. The yoga one's like a cool party trick, but I don't see a whole ton of people using that or benefiting from that.
I don't see a whole lot of people cold plunging.
I mean, especially at that price point, probably not.
I think just cold plunging in general, there's a certain subset of people that cold plunge, but
I think there's people that want to, but it's too difficult to do. Like you have to either spend $3,000 on that or a regular cold plunge tub, or you're having to make ice 24/7 and have 3 different freezers making ice to be able to do it in your bathtub. The first one I just think is crazy. It's like
yeah.
there's no way that that's less than $100,000. That device.
Well, what's
Yeah, I
the
don't look
mirror
it up.
thing?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't look it up. I didn't see that part. I didn't see the price.
Well,
Omnia.
look up a tonal and see what those are.
Well, that's
Some
way
random.
different than a tonal. What she was
Yeah, but
talking
just
about.
getting a
Tonal is going to be like a couple $100.
it's the same. I bet not.
It's also a membership, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, you
that's
gotta
the
buy
mirror
the
thing where
actual
it's got
thing.
the cables that basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
It's the same customer though.
No, not even close. The other one is like getting ketones and scanning your entire body. The tonal is just a workout thing. It's a blow flex.
Yeah.
it's a little over $4,000.
What is?
The tonal.
God, that surprises me.
That does not surprise me.
Because it's also like it has all the workouts on the screens, and I'm sure you're you're purchasing. And I don't even know if that's the membership.
No,
The
that's
membership
just the
is
equipment.
$60 a month.
See,
So I don't know if like the machine is $4,000 and then you also have $60 a month.
Yeah. The same person that's going to buy a tonal has a Peloton and are going to buy this fancy, cool mirror thing.
I don't think so. I think that mirror thing is like a red light therapy bed.
And they're going to have that too. That same person that's got a tonal is
No,
going to have that too.
I don't
I bet
think
the
so.
person that has a tonal or those types of like Peloton, people that like the classes or the programmed workouts or the at-home type of stuff, those are not the people that are paying attention to their biomarkers.
No.
Because
No.
if they were, they would know to not do those workouts.
Yeah.
I
Well-
think they're gadgety people.
Maybe
But
people that
there's
just
like
like
a-
gadgets and don't use them that way, maybe then.
I think there's that mirror thing is like Ben Greenfield.
It's like, I want to know every.
Like you said,
Okay.
the
Scan.
biomarker biohacking type of seekers. That's like, they're in Mars.
Yeah.
To where the tonal and Peloton people are still on Earth.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah, I
makes
couldn't
sense.
find it.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's too, like, that one's just too techie, too body scan. What are all my biomarkers? What are my ketones at? What is this? Like, that is all, it's the science nerds.
Right.
To where the tonals and the Pelotons, it's like the stay-at-home mom that wants to work out still and doesn't like going to the gym because of anxiety or something.
So general. But yeah, I don't know. I think this mirror seems like it's going to be cheaper. Because it's basically like a high-end kick-ass Whoop or Aura ring.
It sounds like it's more than that.
No, it is.
the
It's like
Whoop or
it's
the
a
Aura.
better version of that. But I think those are like $300-$400.
If it's
So
less
it's a
than
mirror, so it's going to be less than a tonal, at least from what this is saying.
less than a tonal,
Yes.
oh well, then this thing
It's
doesn't.
garbage.
It's garbage. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
It
yeah.
is not going to do everything it says it does accurately.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. It's also, I think, some sort of not really, we don't know because it's not out yet.
It's not even a real product.
Not
Right.
No, not
Well,
on grand
I think
scale.
that show that you're talking about, that it was at that CES show, Consumer Electronics Seminar or something. It was just like last week or 2 weeks ago. That's when Nvidia shot up.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
But I'm guessing it's kind of like you go to the car shows in Detroit. They've got their, what do they call them, concept vehicles.
Oh,
And how many of those have ever hit the street?
Yeah.
Well, it's like what I talked about a couple weeks ago of the light. Did we talk about that?
Yeah.
Like that's not made yet, but there's a waiting list to get one.
Yeah.
So like people are purchasing it before it's a thing. So I'm sure that's going to be the same thing with this.
That you
is-
see people on Shark Tank that it's a concept or it's a prototype,
Sure.
and they're looking
Yeah.
for investment
To
money
create
to
it.
create it.
That seems crazy that it's less than a tonal.
I didn't realize one of those is that much.
I bet it doesn't do all the stuff it says it does.
Yeah, probably not. By the time it gets made, they're like, yeah, we actually can't do
Yeah.
50% of this. It just
Right.
takes your weight.
Yeah.
It's just a scale.
Yeah.
I could see it being like an in-body thing where it does your, visceral fat and your lean body mass or your lean body. So what is lean body mass?
I think so, yeah.
And that thing even goes so far as like, here's what muscle you have in your right leg compared to your left leg and each arm and
Yeah.
your BMI. And that's all just electronic,
Yeah. Electronic waves.
yeah, through your feet and your hip to hold onto the handle thing in each
Yeah.
hand.
And a Peloton is a little under $1,500 with also the $44 a month of the membership.
I did not realize those things were that expensive.
Yeah, they're pricey.
Which is crazy because like even doing the classes, like the membership, that's more than some gyms.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Towards like you can just go to a cycling class, but I guess you can do it at home. That's the
Right.
thing. Yeah. Yeah. So think about that compared to if you spent the same amount of money on kettlebells or like still small equipment that you could have inside. You could buy so much.
Yeah. For $4,000
Yeah.
or
Well, think about
$1,500.
what do you spend for a gym membership over the course of 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why we got when we were in Texas, we got the setup that we did, some of the stuff that we got is because even that, I think we calculated it where it was like, this is going to still be cheaper than a gym membership.
And you
Even if
have
we
it forever.
only had it for a year.
Yeah.
So we're like, if we have even longer than that, but even for the year, it was still close and it was at home.
Yeah, because I think that gym that I went to in Texas for that 1 week, their normal rates were like $45 a month. I can't remember what that place was called.
HT Fitness.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so much of it comes down to like where do you want to work out?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
people that want to go to the gym, and then there's people that want to be at home. And
For some people, that convenience is worth the price.
yeah, totally. It just like I can't ever imagine spending that much money. But
No,
yeah, I get it.
We're cheap, and I would like like you said, if you're a parent at home, you're like, the only way I'm going to get any sort of exercise is if I do it here. Definitely do it.
That was me.
I would just get it, like put a gym set up if you can, or even if you
Yeah.
don't have an extra room or a space, I would prefer kettlebells and
Well,
something like that. But
and that group of
that's just
people
me.
tends to be the people that are not, they don't maybe know how to use the weight equipment stuff either. So they get the Pelotons, so they just ride a bike, and that's their exercise.
Sure. Yeah.
Like it's not generally people that are savvy at the knowing how to do all the exercises
Totally.
and knowing how to use kettlebells and dumbbells and barbells and stuff like that. It generally is the people that just want to get some exercise, but they can't leave the house, or it's not convenient for them. So then they get a Peloton, and that's their way of working out. And then they have somebody teaching and coaching them, grab the dumbbells behind you, and now we're going to do this with the dumbbells. So then it's like they're being taught, quote unquote, but
Yeah, but it's
not.
riding a bike. It's not even the same universe as doing a
Right.
weight with weights.
Right.
But
Yeah.
people love classes.
Yeah.
Community.
They love to be able to like have someone instruct them on how to do something, the walking through it, not having to think about it. The little bit of, well, now I'm in my rest period. If I'm just at home and I'm not really into this, now I could be distracted and I could go on my phone, or my kids need something, or maybe I'll just put the load of dishes away while I'm in between, and then you never get back to it. Like the classes keep you engaged. That it's like, I'm going to be here for 30 minutes and I know it's going to be 30 minutes. I know what it's going to be. I know that other people are maybe even doing it with me, because I know on some of those you can track who else is doing it with you during that time.
Yeah.
So like if you get on at 5 a.m. every day in Peloton, you can see people that are taking classes with you and how they're like, they track their own progress too. So it kind of feels community based, that it doesn't confuse me
No, it makes
why
sense.
people like it.
It doesn't solve the people that want to work out at home thing, but that's where, like, when we went to the Onnit gym, that was so cool to see. They were taking actual weightlifting classes, making them into classes. Like, you had a trainer that had a group of 6 people or something like that, and they were doing like squats and this and that, and they basically each had a partner. They each had a squat rack. They're going back and forth, but it was still a group fitness class. But it wasn't the, going into the LA Fitness group fitness class in a ballroom basically, and people are just doing like step ups and squats and donkey kickbacks.
And the highest weight in there is 10 pounds.
Yeah, and the highest weight's 10 pounds.
For a while at any time in Janesville, around lunchtime, there was maybe a group of like 3 or 4 guys that would come in at lunchtime, and they must have all been wanting to weight train because they were doing squats and deadlifts
Oh, that's
in
cool.
like a circuit.
That's cool.
And but the trainer there was on his phone, walking around talking to him, not correcting him on, doing shitty form on their squats, or their backs are arched or rounded over on deadlifts. Or, you could tell this one guy was a bigger guy, stronger guy. He was doing 95-pound deadlifts. It's like, you're just going through the motions.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you still need somebody good to guide that whole thing. But I think that group fitness class thing, to make it more productive and more efficient, it would be cool to see people do that like they did at the Onnit gym. We're doing actual weightlifting workouts and we're using the space. I think that's what's convenient about the Onnit gym versus like Anytime or the LA Fitness thing, is like that's what that whole gym is personal trainers and like group classes and that sort of thing. So all of the equipment in that room is used by that. You're not really paying to just go work out. You can, but it doesn't seem like that's what's going on there. To where at LA Fitness, like if I have a group fitness class of 10 people, I'm not going to be able to take 10 people out into the weight room area.
Right.
And take all the benches and take all the dumbbells and all the squat racks and be able to do that.
And you also have to have a pretty intense or in-depth teacher or trainer in that class, because I did them the whole time we were in California, and it's like they wanted me to do the class with them and basically like just a follow along. I'm like, but then I can't come around and correct you. But I also have 30 people in a class that now I'm walking around, we're doing squats, and I have to go around to 30 different people because 30 different people are doing it wrong and give corrections and do that. It's like, how many other coaches are going to walk around and be that in depth about it?
They're going to sit on their phone. They're going to
stand in front of the class or be on their phone or just follow along with me. You're still giving people workouts, but the integrity part of that bothers me for how I was doing it, or how it is just in those big box gyms, how it's set up, is because the classes are filled with so many people. You can't really get around to everybody. And even so, even if you can, you got to be really on your shit as the person running the class, which is hard to do. That's what I thought was cool with the Onnit, even more than just the group classes. They started every class with mobility, but they took them into this. It was like a dark room with neon graffiti, like paintings on the wall, and they turned the heat up in the room. So like the coach that was running the workout, which the coach that when we went to go do the tour, it was a guy that was like on Mind Pump and does all the mobility on Mind Pump, which was cool.
Yeah. It was Jordan Chow.
Yeah. So they do all the mobility that is designated for that workout too. So it's like, it's very programmed appropriately. It's not like CrossFit.
No,
it's like it's CrossFit style where you're doing that kind of written workout sort of thing, but it's not.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. It'd be cool to like buy a CrossFit gym and get all the equipment, but then start running it like group fitness classes rather than a CrossFit class. Like you have all the equipment and you have the space and you have designed a gym to have a lot of people in there doing the same things. But now it's like, here's the workout of the day. We're going to start with mobility and everybody's down doing mobility. And then we're going to get up and it's like, okay, partner up. You guys go to this squat rack, this whatever. We're going to do 4 sets of 10 on the squats, and I'll go around and correct and guide and answer questions. And then, we'll move along in the workout with whatever else we have designated for it. Because like people do want that community. They want the group fitness class thing, but the product they're typically getting sucks.
And you wonder how that would work. So would you do stations, or are you staying at one squat rack? That's your equipment for the hour.
The way I would try to do it is how we work out, how you work out. You typically do the set, you take a little bit of a rest, 30 seconds to a minute, then you go back into it. Now, you have to have a lot of equipment to be able to do that. So if you have 10 people, you're going to want 5 squat racks.
Right. So yeah, because that's something like if Courtney's doing something and I'm doing something, we're going to have different weights.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
would I just stay at this bar or at this rack?
You could do it where like you're with somebody who generally lifts the same amount of weight, so you're not moving weights as much. But even when we go work out together,
Yeah, it doesn't take that long.
it doesn't take that long. I don't think that's that big of a hindrance.
Right.
That's what this one guy that I found on Instagram, Joey Burgles, Bergles. He trains a lot of sports teams, and he goes into like kids' schools, and he'll work with the basketball team or football team, and that's how he runs it in their gyms or in their school gyms. He will kind of run it like that, where each kid will get a bench, each kid will get a squat rack, and he'll kind of run it like that. But it's very slow pace, talking through the exercises, and he probably kind of like honestly probably what Clickora does. Like he has the workouts pre-planned for them, but it is like you're still getting 30 kids in a gym
Yeah.
and able to run a session with them.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah, you got to be a good
You gotta be able to be
good
with 30
guider.
kids at a time and
Yeah.
educate.
And that just takes practice though too. I mean, yeah. That's where
I like that they're starting it young though, because now you're not overcoming bad habits that somebody already has. Now you're starting from scratch, and you can mold them to have good form.
Yeah. And think about how much further along in that process they can get, or just like preventing injury and avoiding the pitfalls.
Yeah.
When they're starting that young, knowing how to do that stuff.
Yeah, like he always he like this video. It's like 7th grade football players, and he's doing his front squats. And he said like his whole thing is he really doesn't ever have them do back squats until their form is nearly perfect. He'll have them put it front squat, and then they have their arms out, and then the thumbs up.
Oh, I've seen that guy.
Yeah, it's like this. He's working with 12-year-olds
Yeah.
and able to do that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
If I do front squats, I naturally my thumb comes up.
I started doing that since I saw his videos, and that has helped me a lot. I think front squats for me, I'm just better at it because of the counterbalance. It's the back squats that it's not good.
Yeah.
How long have we been going?
We could probably wrap it up. Like and subscribe. Enjoy the podcast.
TikTok didn't go away.
TikTok didn't go away, so make sure you get on there.
Could you imagine if during that time, the 3 hours or something that it was down, if everyone lost their stuff on there? Like if it wiped everyone's
That would
clean?
be hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
That would be
crazy.
terrible. Think of the people that like they have built a business on there. Now you got to start from scratch. That
Yeah.
would suck. I mean, for us, like, who cares?
You
But
wonder how quickly people would just go back to searching those people again, though.
Do you follow
Track them.
people
Yeah.
on TikTok?
we don't know.
No, I mean,
No.
is that how it works?
Yes.
Is that kind of like Instagram?
Yes.
So everybody that you would follow, you'd have to go search
Refollow
them out again.
Yes. To where
Wow.
when people are making money off of how many followers they have, you'd have to regain those people back.
Oh yeah.
To where how many people are like, oh, they follow me, so I'm getting money from them, but they don't really watch my stuff, or they don't remember that they follow me.
Oh, sure.
You'd have to hope these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would suck. But that didn't happen.
All right, like and subscribe. Bye.